All right, good morning, and thank you again for joining me this morning. Going to do something just a little bit different than normal this morning. I don't have quite as many slides on my PowerPoint, and I want to talk a little bit more. As those of you know who have been on before, Monday Morning Moto isn't very long, usually 15, 20 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer if I get long-winded. Do want to say for those of you who haven't been on before and don't know me, my name is Aspen Calhoun, and December was 4 years of my Scentsy journey. And when it comes to Scentsy and all the things, I feel like motivation and I guess leadership as a whole, and that's my favorite part of this business. So hopefully I can share some of that with you this morning and maybe say one thing that sticks with you through today or even through the week. So hopefully you enjoy it. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the question panel. Hopefully everyone can hear me and everything is good. Other than that, at the end, I will take more questions. So let's get going here. What I want to talk about this morning is whatever your one small thing is. And that sounds a little crazy, okay, because we are talking about our business, obviously. That's why you got on here for some motivation this morning. But I want to ask you, what is your one small thing? When it comes to life, when it comes to your business, what do you have that sets you apart from other people? And a lot of times when we think of this one small thing or the thing that makes us focus on what we do, it's not always something great, but really it's what we do with that one thing. So I want to ask you to think about this while I talk about my main topic. Is it a gift, a talent, an item, an experience that you've had in your life? Is it your attitude no matter what you go through that you can always smile? Is it the lifestyle that you live? The way you take care of other people, the way you take care of yourself? Is it a hope that you have for others and a hope that you have for yourself? A dream, a story? What is it about you that you can say, this is why I'm me. This is why I can make things work. This is why my dream will someday not just be a dream, but it will be my lifestyle. What is the one small thing that you have that sets you apart from other people? Well, I was kind of surfing through the internet yesterday trying to get some ideas and thinking about a few different things, and I ran across a story, and some of you may have heard it before. It's a story of one red paperclip, and if you've never read the whole story, I encourage you to Google it and look on this guy. His name is Kyle McDonald, and he has a blog, and he's wrote a book, and he now does speaking for entrepreneurs, for small business, for several different things. But I want to tell you his story today, kind of in short. And like I said, encourage you to get on and read it for yourself, because reading through this, I had never heard about it before, but reading through it, I was astonished, and it just really made me think about some things. So hopefully it does that for you today too. So here's the guy, and he started off with one red paperclip, and it wasn't that big as you see in the picture there. He actually had just a regular paperclip. And his idea was, I want to trade this one red paperclip for a home for, I'm not quite sure if she's his wife, girlfriend, for him and his significant other. That was his plan. So in thinking about that, I'm like, all right, this is a little crazy. So I have to start clicking to find out what happens with this guy. And you go through his entire blog and find out the steps of the way. And I want to share those steps with you, not story in full, but some of them, because it's really kind of amazing what this guy does. So first, what he does, he goes to Craigslist and he posts his red paperclip, and he says, here's my plan. What I would like to do is trade the paperclip for a home. But obviously I'm going to have to continue to trade up. So anything that he could trade up for his red paperclip, he would make a deal. So he puts the paperclip on, and pretty quick he has this girl contact him and says she has a fish pin. And if you get on his blog, you see of all the items that I'll tell you about, he has pictures of each one and each person, and each one comes with a pretty significant story and the people that he met along the way and the way that he grew through different experiences. So be sure you get on and read that. So he trades the red paperclip for a fish pin, and the person told him that I think she found the pin while camping, but she would trade him for the paperclip. So he goes to where she is and he makes the trade. And he goes back to Craigslist and he posts again. Now I have a fish pin that he wants to trade. His next trade is a doorknob. It's a ceramic sculpted doorknob, and I think his words were something like it looked like E.T. on some sort of drug or something. Anyways, it's funny. It's kind of a crazy looking ceramic sculpted doorknob that this person actually sculpted, and so he trades for that. And so again, he goes back and wants to trade his doorknob, and he posts that and finds someone that would like to trade a Coleman stove with fuel for the doorknob. And now there's a little story with this and saying, so he goes ahead and trades for the stove, but when he lists the stove to trade, he also says, okay, if I'm going to keep trading up, it's going to be hard, so I have to add some things to it to make people want it more. Otherwise, you keep trading equally or a little bit more, a little bit less, and you never get anywhere. So when he offers the Coleman stove for trade, obviously it's already with fuel, but he offers to cook someone dinner with it. So someone says, okay, I will trade you that for a generator. So he drives, and this part of the story was kind of interesting to me because he actually went to Camp Pendleton in California, which is where I used to live and met some of you. So I thought that was kind of interesting that he traded with a Marine that had a generator and traded him for the Coleman stove, and he cooked a meal for him. So as you can see, as he meets people, he's building a story. And this is a true story, so it makes it kind of cool. So he takes his generator and he takes it home and he cleans it up and he puts it on Craigslist to trade again. His next contact says, yes, I want the generator, and I will trade you a beer keg, a neon Budweiser sign, and an IOU for a keg of beer, which is kind of interesting because in the picture it shows a white piece of paper with marker written on it, IOU for keg of beer. So it's kind of cool. So he takes that and he calls it something like an instant party or something like that because of the package that he now has to trade. So he posts that and gets a reply from someone who wants to trade him a snowmobile. And he's reading this to his significant other, whoever's in the room with him, I can't remember which. And the person that wants to trade the snowmobile's name is, it's either Mitchell or Michael, and I'm not quite sure how to say it, but he is, quote unquote, like the snowmobile guy in Quebec, which is where this guy lives close to. He is from Canada. So he goes and he says, absolutely, because now if he's trading with someone who's famous, who has value to them already, who people know, okay, we know this guy, we know it's his snowmobile, he's famous, this is what he does, he has something more valuable than he's had so far. So yes, he wants to trade for the snowmobile. Now going to trade for the snowmobile, there's kind of a long story with this one, but I found it kind of interesting because he takes his beer keg or his instant party setup that he has to trade for the snowmobile, and the snowmobile guy has a radio show. So he shows up to the radio station to trade his instant party for the snowmobile, and the guy says, okay, well, where did you want to take it? And he lives in a small apartment on the second floor, so obviously he has no place for a snowmobile, so he has to kind of go out of his comfort zone and ask someone if he can store it at their place. So long story short, he does trade the snowmobile and he takes it to his friend's house. While in interviews, because the guy's radio guy and famous, all of a sudden he's getting TV crews following his Red Paperclip story. So he's attracting attention on his trades and what's going on, so more people are taking notice of what he's doing. And for those of you, I didn't look and see if there's anyone who's on from Canada, you probably have already heard this story. Hopefully I'm doing it justice in telling it. So during his interviews, he says something about, because they ask him, okay, how far will you go to make a trade? What will you do? And he kind of says, or leads to the idea that he'll go anywhere except for this one place in British Columbia called Yaak. And I'm not quite sure I'm saying that right. It's Y-A-H-K. Anyways, so he kind of says, I'll go anywhere but there. So that being said, you kind of have an idea of what might happen next. Some people in Yaak say, yes, we will trade you for the snowmobile, but you have to come here to do the trade. But here's what we'll offer you. We'll offer you lodging for two, skiing, and snowmobile trips for two people and yourself. So he would kind of be the guide since he's kind of a quote-unquote somewhat celebrity now because of this story. So he does trade, but he has no way of getting the snowmobile there. So the guy who wants the trip trades him a van, it's a big, kind of a hauler van, almost like a moving type van. So he says, I will trade you the trip and you can use the van to take the snowmobile to Yak. So he does it. So it was kind of a 3-trade deal in one, but everybody got what they wanted. He goes to Yak in his van and takes the snowmobile there, and the guy gets the trip. So it's kind of cool. So anyways, he ends up with the van. Next step, he posts the van on Craigslist and waits. And someone offers him a recording contract, which includes 30 hours of recording time, 50 hours of mixing, transportation to and from anywhere in the world, accommodations while they're doing their recording, and a pitch from whatever recording it is to Sony BMG XM radio. So you can kind of see as the story progresses how much bigger it's growing from that tiny little red paperclip. And you can see he's gone, I mean, even a fish pin or a doorknob, how much bigger this thing is getting and how much, I guess, speed it's building. So because of the story and because people following what he's doing, people are taking notes. So now he has a recording contract that he's traded for this van. So he gets a contact on that, and someone is offering him 1 year in Phoenix. So it's an apartment, furnished or not, if needed, for the recording contract. So he's like, all right, well, this is his first venture in real estate, so he's getting closer to where he wants to be. So he says, absolutely, I'll trade for the 1 year in Phoenix apartment. So he does that, and the girl gets the recording contract. So now here's the funny part of the story. The apartment that he got for 1 year is connected to another one, so it's a duplex. Well, the girl that lives next door said, hey, wait a minute, I want rent-free for a year. So she says, I will take the year for free rent and move next door for one afternoon with Alice Cooper. Well, here's her connection. She actually works in Alice Cooper's restaurant in Phoenix and knows him well and talked to him about what was going on, and he was willing to help her get a year free rent in Phoenix to offer an afternoon with him so she could do the trade. So obviously he says yes and gives her the year in Phoenix free rent at the apartment, and now has the one afternoon with Alice Cooper to trade. Now someone says, I will trade you that for a Kiss snow globe. And you seriously have to get on this blog to see the picture of this, the picture of a snow globe. And you might think, okay, what a small thing to trade, because an afternoon with Alice Cooper would obviously give some people a lot of interest. So he trades for the Kiss snow globe, but only for one reason, because the person with it is not only wants the snow globe, but is supposed to be the largest snow globe collector in the world. So he makes the trade and now has a snow globe, has a snow globe to trade and trades that to someone who is offering a movie role. And it comes with a few other things. Again, get on and read what else it comes with. So he has one movie role to offer, and he puts that on Craigslist, and he waits. Now, all of a sudden, he gets a hit from someone in Saskatchewan. Now, they're offering him a house in Saskatchewan. It's 1,100 square feet. I believe it's a key to the town, a town or community housewarming party when he gets there for this movie role. And you might think, okay, what does this town want to do with the movie role? Well, they kind of did an American Idol thing where they did tryouts, but it was kind of a publicity thing for their town. So needless to say, he does take the house and now has a house in Saskatchewan for one red paperclip. So in thinking about this, it truly is an amazing story. But the part that I want to put some thought into and that I kind of thought about was the peridium shift. And you haven't heard of this before. A peridium shift is a complete change in thinking that allows a new condition previously thought impossible or unacceptable. So what does that mean? I want you guys to put it into perspective this way. No matter what one small thing is that you have, it can become anything you want it to be. And the story that I shared with you is physical proof. Someone can take a physical item and trade it enough times that he has something that he wants. So what can you do with your one small thing, your one small gift, your story that you have, something that you've gone through that maybe wasn't so great? How can you use that to change your life, to make yourself better, to change your circumstance? Think about what your one small thing is and use that. Now that you've thought of your one small thing, and like I said, it doesn't always have to be something that's great. Maybe you're not someone that can stand up in front of everyone and share a story. Maybe you're not someone who is the best salesperson ever. Maybe you don't have everything you ever wanted. But when you think of your one small thing, maybe it's that no matter where you go, you have a smile on your face. No matter what situation you hit, you can see the best part of it. Maybe you can turn a 3-person party into $600 worth of sales. Maybe you can book a party with anyone you meet. Maybe you have an experience through Scentsy or through your business that has changed your life so greatly that all you have to do is share that story and it can change other people's lives as well. Now let me ask you, are you wasting whatever gift that is? Whatever one small thing that you have, are you trading up or are you just holding on to it? Because if this guy had sat in his office with his one small red paperclip and said, you know what, all I have is a paperclip, we wouldn't have this amazing story. We wouldn't have the encouragement that he has given us, and he wouldn't have a house. He wouldn't have the stories that he was able to gather along the way, which is exactly what you can do if you share your one small thing. Because by sharing just one small thing that you have, you can change other people's lives and you can change your own. Share your gift. Remember that gifts aren't always wrapped with a bow. It's not even always something nice. Sometimes something tragic that happens in your life, something that you think can hold you down forever, is the very best way to help you grow. If you can use that to change other people's lives, if you can use those things to move yourself forward and grow in your business and as a person, it can be your gift if you choose for it to be. It may not seem worth it to you. A lot of times, whatever our gift is, we see it as being so small that it couldn't affect anyone else. Maybe it's the fact that you're super crafty and you can turn anything into something pretty. Maybe it's that you're artistic. Maybe it's that you can turn any sentence into a song or a poem. No matter what it is, you can connect with that and your business and make things work for you if you use passion. If you say, this is my one small gift, but I'm going to turn it into something bigger because I've decided to trade up. I want to use my small thing and keep trading up until I get what I want. Decide to make a Diem Shift. Decide to change your way of thinking and take your one small thing and make it bigger than you could ever dream. Make your paperclip into a house because your way of thinking can change everything you do. So put some thought in today about what your one small thing is. Think about how tiny it sometimes seems, but realize how big it can be. Change your way of thinking and use whatever gift you have. Everybody has something that they can share with other people, whether it be something physical or whether it be something, a story, an experience, a life change, maybe what this business has done for you, something that you can share that can trade up to one thing bigger. I just have a small quote that I want to share with you by Abraham Lincoln. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one other thing. So if you have, if you have resoluteness in what you want to become, in what you want to be, it doesn't matter how small your one thing is, as long as you recognize that you do have one small thing and that the option is there to trade up. So jump on the blog, read the Red Paperclip story. I thought it was amazing, and hopefully you share it with others. Hopefully you got something today that will move you forward through, not just today, but through the week. And remember what your one small thing is. And remember, if you don't share it, if you don't continue to trade up, that it continues to be just one small thing. So don't stick with your red paperclip. Take your red paperclip and decide today that you're going to trade up, that you're going to share your story and you're going to let it grow.